Hey, how's it going? This is I'm going to be talking about single-use plastic ban in England and what that is. Ban includes plates, bowls, trays, containers, cutlery, and balloon sticks. What are the straws? I guess. From 1st of October 2023, business must no longer supply or sell or offer certain single-use plastic items in England. The ban on these items will include online and over-the-counter sales and supply, items from new and existing stock. Alright. All types of single-use plastics, including biodegradable, compostable, and recycled. Even those plastics you won't be able to use anymore. Items wholly or partly made from plastic, including coating or lining. Something that would include single use. Alright. Myself, I have done some research in this particular topic just to understand the markets a little bit, as well as I've been in the industry to understand what potential obstacles might be and how easy it is currently to work with plastic. So I understand how to build and work with plastic very well, and how cheap it can be compared to some of the alternatives out there, and how expensive it can be to work with other organic materials, and we not necessarily which are not necessarily available to source locally within the UK. Perhaps there are some options out there, as well as in Europe. They're doing a lot of research of how they can train worms to eat certain types of plastic, as well as some of the bacteria and all those funny things. I don't know. There's a lot of potential there, and we're constantly looking to improve that existing systems. But overall, these measures were taken into effect slowly over years and years or so. Finally, they are banning potentially single-use plastic items. Once I mentioned later. How you can prepare for a ban. You can prepare your business for new rules by using up existing stock before 1st of October, finding reusable alternatives to single-use items, using different materials for single-use items. If you have to get your perhaps fast food business or anything like that operating, perhaps there are some alternatives, especially in other countries where they perhaps have abundance of different organic materials. There are potentials there. From avocados, we're doing a lot of interesting things. Perhaps there are options there. Some of the exemptions for plates, bowls, and trays. Exemptions would be from 1st of October, but a lot of supermarkets, large grocery shops have made a pledge to eventually stop using some of those plates, bowls, and trays. But currently, some of the exemptions might be applied for pre-filled salad bowls or ready meal packaged in a tray, a plate filled with a counter of the takeaway, a tray used to deliver food. So there are some exemptions. So some of food restaurants, I personally believe that the people, most people affected would be people on the go, and how that food would be served to those groups of people, myself perhaps included. Cutlery and balloon sticks would gonna gonna go away. You won't be able to ask for any cutlery. There's no exemptions to this particular case. Single-use plastic when it comes to cutlery, and sticks. Where are the straws? I don't know. They don't really letting people keeping the straws. I have seen in US some of the alternatives to straws, what they're doing there, but in the UK, we're keeping for the time being, we're keeping the straws. Polystyrene food and drink containers. From 1st of October, you must not supply ready-to-consume food and drinks in polystyrene containers. This includes in polystyrene cups. Polystyrene means expanded and extruded polystyrene. Exemptions would be adding water, microwaving, toasting. You still supply food or drink in polythene containers if you need to further prepare it before it consumed. There are some exemptions there for business owners out there. I would highly recommend to do your own research, dive into some of the changes going into effect and when and what you need to prepare yourself for. I've seen a lot of funding overall. That's where I'm coming from. I have seen a lot of funding and some of the alternatives, as well as perhaps serving food, as well as shipping from point A to point B, and some of the alternatives out there, and perhaps funding in the industry, as well as recycling, as well as using less space, extending shelf life, and some of the alternatives out there. There's a lot of attention in the space, and there are a lot of smart people who are trying to think about solutions to current issues facing all of us. There's going to be inspections taking place visiting shops and stores. May so they might speak to the staff, see records, I guess. There's gonna be some fines, I guess, which is never a good thing, especially for business out there who are struggling right now with all the changes coming into place. There's gonna be some fines and all of that, so brace yourself. Let's take a look at some of the industries that, or people who would be affected the most by this ban on plates, bowls, trays, containers, cutlery, and balloon sticks. All of those are single-use plastics, right? Consumers, individuals who frequently use single-use plastics items like plates, cutlery, some of those that I mentioned already, they would most likely, or the businesses would need to switch to alternative materials such as paper, cardboard, or biodegradable options, depending on how those options are going to be manufactured, because of the manufacturing process, there is a ban as well. But overall, consumers going to be affected, people who are using those single-use plastics. Restaurants and food service businesses, restaurants and fast food chains, and catering services that rely heavily on disposable plastics, plates, bowls, all those that I mentioned already, and they might need to switch to more eco-friendly options. They may also need to adjust their operations to accommodate the use of these alternatives. By adjusting these operations, they perhaps would have incur additional costs, especially in the beginning, and that cost would be most likely passed down to other people. Plastic manufacturers that produce single-use plastic products like plates, all of those that I mentioned already, experience a decline in demand of their products because of the ban, potentially impacting their business and workforce. However, some manufacturers may shift their production to alternative materials. Demand will stay there. Most likely, demand stay there. The only thing what will be replaced potentially would be method of how this plastic should be produced, and by so replacing some of the components as well as processes within how it's been done until this point and how it will be done in the future. That perhaps would require additional training of the staff, additional investment into equipment, and perhaps there would be additional cost required to be covered just because of some of the process, especially now, and some of the raw materials might cost extra compared to what they cost now. Environmental and sustainability efforts is something that most likely is been government in this particular case, England is trying to achieve with this ban overall, and there's a reason why this ban is been taking place, right? Because something has to be done to improve existing way of how these plastics are being managed. Waste management and recycling industries. A reduction in the use of single-use plastics may lead to changes in waste streams. I've been there. I spoke with those people out there. Most likely, they're doing fine. To most extent, they're doing fine. If anything, it would fall under consideration that I don't know how many of you know about some of the changes within industry and percentage of how of the percentage of how little they can use impurities. And so, if anything, this particular waste management and recycling industries won't be affected that much. If there's going to be any effects, they would be good effects, right? Because how hard it can be recycled, some of those type of plastics, as well as in volume compared to other volume of plastic is coming into those industries. This particular industry is gonna be affected, but not necessarily in a bad way and not necessarily on a large scale. For those of you who are interested in learning more, I would highly recommend to purchase my book. In the book, I'm sharing a lot of information with regards to fitness industry and where to begin, what you would need to know from different areas that would be perhaps stressed, as well as eating and calories, what calories you're consuming, or what food you are eating, as well as training itself, and going into a lot of detail of everything what you would need to know before or you begin working out, as well as if you're already working out for many years. Myself, I've been in the industry for a very long time, and I'm sharing a lot of information which is easy to understand for all of you who might find this industry completely new, as well as if you were in the industry for quite some time. And how to think about it, I've shared a lot of funny examples as well, so it's not such a dry, I guess, information that it can be. You can find this book in this description, as well as our retailers has it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.